Amid a battlefield echoing with gunfire, there was one soldier who carried no weapon. Yet it was he, unarmed and unyielding, who saved more lives than anyone else. Former US President Barack Obama once said, "The best way to not feel hopeless is to get up and do something." Hope doesn't appear on its own, it's built through action. When we stop waiting for miracles, each small step forward can open a greater path. Sometimes, the simplest act becomes a torch of light in the darkest despair. Desmond Doss, a soldier who refused to carry a gun, was ridiculed by his comrades because he believed saving lives mattered more than taking them. But in the hell of Okinawa, when everyone else retreated, he stayed. Alone, he dragged wounded men down the ridge, whispering, "Lord, please help me get one more." No weapons, no power, only faith and relentless action. War waits for no one. It tears apart the dawn with cannon fire and fills the sky with smoke. And in that inferno stood a man without a gun. Desmond Doss, a frail young man from Virginia, believed something most called madness. "I'll go to war, but I won't kill." When he enlisted, the platoon laughed. "If you don't carry a gun, who the hell are you going to protect?" they sneered. He just looked at his hands, the same hands that had healed, never harmed. "With these," he said quietly. From the first day of training, he was beaten, cursed, isolated. They slipped knives into his bunk, smashed his locker, mocked his prayers. But Doss said nothing. Every night, he knelt and prayed. And when one of the same men who tormented him was hurt, Doss bandaged him without hesitation. His commander wanted him discharged. At a military hearing, surrounded by accusations, Doss stood firm, eyes fixed on a sliver of light streaming through the window. He spoke slowly, each word hard as steel. "I'm not refusing duty. I just want to save lives, instead of taking them." Silence. And in that silence, he was allowed to stay. Then came Okinawa, Hacksaw Ridge, where the sky and earth burned as one. The air thundered with explosions and the cries of the dying. The American troops were driven back, wounded men strewn everywhere. The order to retreat was shouted. Everyone fled. Everyone, except one man. Through fire and chaos, Doss turned back, alone. No weapon, no comrades, only a fragile thread of faith. He crawled over corpses, his heartbeat merging with the rhythm of gunfire. Each time he found a man still breathing, he dragged him to the cliff's edge, tied a rope, and lowered him down. Then he went back again, and again, and again. All night long, under a storm of bullets, he repeated one prayer. "Please, Lord, help me get one more." Each life saved was a soul returned to its family. Each step he took was defiance against the meaninglessness of war. And when dawn finally broke, he collapsed. Not from fear, but from fulfillment. 75 men. A soldier without a gun, who saved 75 of his brothers. When they carried him off the battlefield, those who once mocked him lowered their heads. The commanding officer approached, helmet in hand, and said softly, "Today we go into battle without guns, because if it weren't for you, none of us would be alive." No one laughed anymore. No one doubted. Only silence, the kind born of reverence and redemption. To find hope, you don't need to wait for miracles. You only need to stand, with your hands, your heart, and your faith. Desmond Doss wasn't a superhero. He was an ordinary man who chose to act in the face of despair, and in doing so, created a miracle within the darkness. True courage isn't about defeating enemies, but about refusing to surrender to the emptiness of war. If it were you, when the whole world said you can't, would you have the courage to rise and do what's right, even if you stood alone? Or would you wait for hope, while forgetting that you could be the one to create it?